Alright, what's up guys? I just want to show everybody sort of how to go about improving with your damage. This is warcraftlogs.com. You can get the link. I usually post them in Discord when we do guild runs. If not, you can just go to www.warcraftlogs.com, and then you can search by guild, or you can search by person. So you can search by the guild, and then the guild will want to come up, or you search by your character name, and then all the things that your character has done that were recorded have come up. So you want to improve in your DPS, which you're going to want to. If you want to clear higher content and stuff like that. Just as like a personal goal, this is the way to check out and see how to do it. This wasn't an amazing kill here, but we did down Queen Ashara. It took us a long time, 9 minutes and 28 seconds, and you can see these are what's called parses here. So here's the player, here's the parse, so the percentile that you're in for all of the class in spec that have done it on that difficulty, and for your item level over here. Like I said, I'm on damage done. When you first go to it, it's going to be on the summary, and that just has a bunch of different information, but we're going to focus on the damage done. You can also do this for healing if you want. For tanking, you can do it for DPS, or I guess for healing if you want tracking mitigation or whatever. And we're on analyze. So we're just going to pull me up because I didn't do very well this fight, right? I was in the green, and so you want to be orange is the highest, and then purple, and then blue, and then green. So I only did 17k this fight, which is actually sort of embarrassing. So, but this is actually a good example. I put up some other ones, and I mean I was in the higher percentile, so there's nothing really to look at to improve. So we'll click on this. We'll click on me. And then it just tells you, the percentage of damage that you've done from each of your abilities. And I know what my priority should look like. I know that Rampage should be my top, followed by either like Execute should actually probably be up here somewhere, like Execute, Bloodthirst, Raging Blow. So we'll look into this a little bit further. Let's go up here to compare. And then I'm going to select me, right? Me, Beard of War, and then here's all the different settings you can do. I just leave it like it is. Fight length, it's important to have a fight that's similar length, because like DPS is going to be way lower on a 9-minute fight than it is on like a 4-minute fight, because then you're talking like if it's a 4-minute fight, 4.5 or something like that, you're talking you use all your 2-minute cooldowns, and then they come up again, and so the boss is dying during cooldown phase, which significantly increases the overall DPS or damage done. So we want to have it within 10 seconds. The raid size of no more than 2 players. Limit search within 2 item levels of the selected player. So it just gives like an average item level, so you're not comparing yourself against somebody with crazy higher item level. And in the last 28 days. And then we're going to hit search. And we're going to hope that this works like I wanted to, because the last time I actually tried to record this before, but it wasn't showing the amount of casts. So we need to make sure it's doing that. Alright, so then it's going to come up and it's going to show you all these people who pretty much did better than you. Unless you find yourself in here, you can see people who did worse than you, right? So I did 17k, this guy's doing 31, 27, 26, so I did something wrong on this fight, right? You want to pay attention to the talents, okay, because all that makes a difference. So essentially you want to make sure that you're simming with raid bots your character for the best gear and talent setup for you. It's going to be different for everybody. And so you don't want to compare yourself to somebody who has a different setup. Like, see this person here, they took Siegebreaker, so they're probably running different essences than a person who's taking Anger Management. I think on this fight, I took Anger Management because that's what was simming best for me. But you see a lot of these people are taking, Siegebreaker because of the essence that they have. Which right now, Siegebreaker is actually the best essence that I have running Life Force. I'm sorry, Siegebreaker is the best talent for me running Life Force. But previously, I just had Memory of Lucid Dreams. So, and a lot of these guys, they have the optimal trinkets. So a lot of these guys in the very top, they're going to have the best of everything, right? The optimal setup, the best trinkets, and that kind of stuff. So we want to take that into consideration. But let's just look at this guy, Sakabath. So hopefully it's going to show us. Okay, perfect. So here it brings you to, you can see me, Beard of War, where's Sakabath, and then I did 17k, he did 27k. Huge difference, right? And you can see the amount of damage that came from each thing, right? So if you look here, this is actually not English, but that's okay. I know what all these things are. So that you might want to watch out for that. That's sort of annoying that it doesn't have English on everything. But anyway, so you can see Rampage was both of our top, and then Melee, then Bloodthirst. So my Execute probably should have been up here a little bit. This right here is an Essence, and it procs every time Bloodthirst crits. Okay, so we'll look at the amount of crit that each of us have in the build and stuff like that in a second. But right now, you can see the casts, right? Like I cast Bloodthirst 105 times. He casted 123. And look at the amount of difference that that amount made. So he casted a little bit less than 20 times than me, and it did 3,000 more damage overall, right? The melee is something we can't control. The bloods are just auto attacks essentially. Bloodthirst, I casted 87 times. He cast his 112 times. So now he got more casts of this in, right? So this is actually what procs this. So obviously, his is going to be a lot higher than mine. And some of this stuff, it just depends on if you get the proc, right? So if you crit or not, because you could cast Bloodthirst more and not crit. So you just have to have an understanding of your class. But this will essentially tell you what you should be casting in what order. See how his Bloodthirst is above the Raging Blow? I was casting Raging Blow a lot more, and then I started looking at this stuff and I started doing Bloodthirst a lot. My DPS actually went up a whole lot. So Raging Blow 79, he got in 102. Execute, I got in 28, and he got in 46. So that's huge, right? He did 2,600 from Execute, and I did 1,300 just about. So these down here, this is like the damage that his trinkets did. This right here is the Azerite Spike and the Guardian of Azeroth. So he obviously had the essence that was the life force. I think isn't it the life force essence to get this life force? Yeah, it's the one that you get from the raid. So he had that and I did not. So but that did where's it tell the percentage of the damage? I might have said the percentage here, but it tells you the amount of damage. So he did damage from that and that and that. So this I couldn't have done anything about because I didn't have those. All right, his whirlwind he cast 100 times and I cast 47. All right, so that's one thing to really look at. Compare yourself with somebody and see what order these are in. To see what you should be casting more, because if you're casting, say you're casting whirlwind more than Bloodthirst, you're going to do horrible because it's not going to proc these essences, it's not going to do as much damage and that kind of stuff, unless it's AoE. And you can see too, I got in 12 Dragon Roars and he got in 14. Alright, so that'll help you get your rotation down. And then you can go deeper into this to figure out what else went wrong. You can see the essences that were different. The amount of crit, I have 1,200. So he has 1,600. So the higher crit on him, the more his Bloodthirst is going to crit, the more his Cold Steel Hot Blood is going to proc, the more damage it's going to do. And you can see that when we looked at the damage done. His did a lot more damage than mine did just because of the amount of crit that he had. So you have to have a basic understanding of your class and how it all works together too. These are how he gemmed and everything. And then see, I only have one gem at the time. Right, and you can see again, see his was like third highest here because he had so much crit. Mine was way down here. Okay, so the biggest thing I would take away from this for me is on this fight. Like I know a lot of this stuff, right? This is just an example. On this fight, I'm guessing I needed more uptime. I needed to be attacking something more, not running to the boss or running to ads or whatever. You know, there's a lot of things that could happen too. Like I could have had to, you know, been standalone or something could have went wrong, something like that. You know, but that's basically what I wanted to show you is how to compare those. There's another neat feature that you can do. It's called WoW Analyzer. So you can just copy this and you can analyze the fight. This is actually pretty neat. If you get, let's see, I don't, oh, okay, I gotta go to analyze. I want to get out of compare here. So we want to go here, compare. We don't want to compare. We want to get rid of this guy. We want to get rid of this guy, and so we want to go to the original log here. We'll copy it, we'll paste it. Oh my gosh! Well, you should be able. It should. Well, for some reason, this is not, it's not doing it. So, let's see. This report was logged in another language. That is because it's still doing something weird with the compare, I guess. I don't know why. So we'll look it up this way. We just have to go back to the original one. Alright, so we'll copy that one. And then here we go. So this is all of the bosses that we did. So let's go down to that fight. This is the first time we cleared it. We wiped a lot, right? There was like one guy who single-handedly wiped us like 3 times. We had to kick him. So here we go to me. And then this is actually ran by players. So you can look and see what you did well, what you didn't do well. So here, use cooldowns effectively. It says your cooldowns are an important part, blah, blah, blah. So I did not use my cooldowns effectively. I did use Rampage very well, right? I missed 0 Rampage casts. And this tells you the amount of time that your stuff was on cooldown, right? Use your defensives, that's sort of meh. Avoid downtime. And see, remember when I said that I probably had a lot of downtime, and that's what that was. I had 35% of the fight was downtime, right? And if you look, that's because I died. So back when we were comparing and everything like that, you know, was looking at the amount of casts and stuff like that, and obviously I didn't do as much DPS because I was dead. So I was dead for 2% of the time, it says. So wasn't dead a very long time. So there was another issue of avoiding downtime. So downtime was 35%, and it just tells you here what you can do different. Use charge, heroic leap to stay in the boss. My items were enchanted. I didn't use a pre-potion. I didn't have any food. I did have enchants. You know, I did use the second potion. I guess I forgot to pop it first or something. Didn't have a food buff. And it tells you your suggestions. Right, so Dragon Roar. So I got 12 of 17. So that's something I'm going to be looking for. Maybe get a weak aura or something. Okay, I need to make sure I cast that every time. Recklessness, 10 out of 12. I need to make sure that, you know, I cast Recklessness every time, you know, when it's feasible. You don't want to cast it in like intermission or anything like that, which could have been a possibility on this fight because there is an intermission. Just depends on when it came off. So you got to use your brain a little bit. But the downtime is pretty big. See, it tells you major. Even use Whirlwind or something like that, a low your priority ability, just to make sure that you're always hitting something. All right, and then you can come up into here, and you can go to statistics. Downtime, that was a big deal for me. Why the DPS was so bad. I used my sudden death procs. That's weird. It says 16 to 15. Tells you how many procs you use when your enchants procced, different stuff like that. Bloodthirst, right? I 87 out of 191. Raging Blow, 79 out of 242. Rampage, I did get all my rampages, which was awesome. You know, Execute, 28 out of 142. So that actually doesn't sound like there was 142 chances to cast Execute. So I'm not sure about that. So this thing isn't perfect, but it tells you what can be improved upon. Right. And then if you want to get real fancy, you can go to the timeline. Like when you're comparing, you could get somebody else's logs. Like we were comparing to that other guy, we can get his logs and run them through here, and it'll tell you in what order you cast things. So if you want to know about like, what should my setup be, right? Should I cast this before this and then this or whatever? You can check the logs of the guys that are doing awesome, and then follow suit. So it tells you 8 seconds into the fight, pop Lucid, pop Righteousness on my trinkets, right? Charged in, bam, started with the Rampage, Dragon Roar, Whirlwind, Rampage, Bloodthirst. And so I probably should have had a Bloodthirst in here. I probably should have Bloodthirsted right here instead of Dragon Roar. But anyway, that's just a couple things I wanted to show you about how to really look into getting your DPS better. Remember, you want to sim your character with raid bots first. Download the SimC add-on, copy and paste that into raid bots. And if anybody has any questions, I can help you guys do that or whatever. But then you can go to Warcraft logs, use the comparison tool to check out why people are doing better than you in these situations. And then you can also use WoW Analyzer as well to help you with some of those things. So keep at it, guys. Doing good, and looking forward to killing more bad guys in Azeroth.